Hello, welcome back to Heretic Tarot. My name is Liz. I almost said my government name. Um, that was weird. Anyway, I will be guiding you on this journey today. This is a reading for the 5-2 Heretic Hermit profile. And, if you don't know your profile, there's a link in the description below to get your human design body graph, and among the plethora of information about you on there, one of those bits will be your profile. Ooh, love that. Wholeness. It feels like very whole. But no, it feels like very balanced. Like there's a different word that I'm looking for, though. It's like, I want to say symmetrical, but that's not even the right word. But we have the sun on the top, we have the moon like on the bottom, we have this circle here in the middle. And what's interesting too is this like green outline, because it's not really following the colors of the chakra system, right? But green represents the heart chakra. So it's interesting that that's the circle that's on the outside. We have the Knight of Pentacles. That is way too many cards. We have the Justice card. We have the Hermit card, which is just it's kind of funny when the Hermit card comes out for the Hermit line. That's too many. It's also too many. I feel like those were... We have the Ace of Swords, the Five of Wands. Man, like cards are like flying. But we only take the cards that come out. King of Cups. And then the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. The Knight of Swords, Page of Wands, Knight of Wands. All right, so this Wholeness card says, wholeness comes from embracing all of our parts, integrating the light and the dark. We are each unique, perfect harmony. We are each a unique, perfect harmony when we cast aside parts we don't like. We play out of tune. Restoring our wholeness is about finding the light within each of us, nurturing it, and giving it space to grow. It's about going into our shadow and carefully bringing those exiled parts back into our conscious being. When we're able to do this, our lives play a beautiful melody. True wholeness can never be found in seeking it from others. It must come from within. Be really whole, and all things will come to you. Yeah, so we start with the Knight of Pentacles. Pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we spend it, how we save it. It's our time. How do we spend our time? Where are we saving time? Where are we physically showing up in our lives? It's also our physical body and our health. Anything that we place value on, any possession that we have, our worth. The Knight of Pentacles can be the slowest moving knight in the tarot. And it also comes with this energy, this message of commitment and dedication, because anytime the Knight of Pentacles shows up, it's always a reminder to not allow slowness or the process dictate success or failure. Because again, anytime the Knight of Pentacles shows up, it can say, and it does usually say to me anyway, that things could be moving slowly. And even, in the physical, in the 3D where we are, time is different. We expect things to happen in a certain space of time in order for us to feel like it is a success or that it is working out in some capacity. And if it doesn't go that way, then sometimes we can be like, well, that didn't work because it wasn't immediately a success, right? Same with wanting to like build a platform or like a social media platform, right? And it's like if your first video doesn't go viral, you're like it was a failure. Well, what the fuck? Like, no, it's like, setting healthy expectations. It's also kind of interesting. My dog's looking at me all concerned. um he's like, chill out. So it's interesting because there's this play happening between this hermit crab and whatever. I mean, that kind of looks like like, what is it called? Coral? Let's see what the book says. The book has like little keywords, which I love. Responsibility, commitment, protective, hardworking. Beneath the sea, a coral creature takes hold of an old stone. Sorry. Inscribed with an unrecognizable glyph, perhaps eroded from years of being underwater. The coral creature understands the value of this stone where others may not. It knows that the stone would bring shelter and new life to the environment, so it takes the stone in its hands and carries it onward. It's interesting because, in picking up this stone, did they reveal this hermit crab? Because it's kind of like, it's like, okay, I just keep getting this feeling of like, so they picked up this stone and they were surprised to see this hermit crab behind it. And it's like, oh, hi, sorry, And like the hermit crab, I have this whole story like going on in my head. The hermit crab is like, hey, I was using that for, shelter, like, like so people couldn't see me or something. I don't know. That's just so funny. But again, right? I mean, commitment, it's literally picking up this stone, to carry it with it because it knows that it has value. It will add value to something, it was saying to some building or whatever, to its house or something. So it's going to pick it up and carry it with them, right? And then we have the Ace of Swords. Swords have to do with our mind, ideas, beliefs. It's also truth and honesty, but like divine truth, objective truth. I also see swords as being the suit of ego because that's generally where we hear our ego is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, to feelings, right? And it becomes a reason why we do and don't do things. It's like, we take in information in our lives, things are happening. It goes through the filter of our ego and then it spits out a perspective of whatever our reality is. So it can change. You can change your mind. I don't know why that was coming out. So aces are brand new. So this is a new idea. Again, a new perspective. It can be discovering a truth about yourself, even with it paired with a Knight of Pentacles. Okay. The Knight of Pentacles, it could be something that you have been in the process of for a while. Like maybe you're waiting for inspiration to come in. Like waiting for something that motivates you to... Why is my dog being so distracting in this reading? All of a sudden, like, that is so funny. I don't know. I'm just saying that out loud because maybe that's something. But anyway, like it could be maybe, what was I even saying? That could be happening even. It's like squirrel, right? Like you get on a stream of consciousness or something. And then all of a sudden, like something it's like something kind of goes past your peripheral and it changes your focus. So that could be something that's going on. But anyway, I think I was saying like waiting for, something that is inspiring, that brings you out of your hermit mode. I mean, it could even just be because it looks like this person is falling. I believe that this is a star. I mean, that could even be a shooting star, like, making a wish in some capacity, breakthrough, epiphany, mental clarity, foresight. The first star thought it was a the first star thought it was a bright idea to see the world from down here. As they broke through the atmosphere, they realized it was a terrible, terrible mistake, for stars are not meant to exist down on the ground. Which is interesting because this Knight of Pentacles is on like the seabed. I think that's also even why, like, that message about like allowing yourself to change your mind. Truly, I mean, we can change our mind like that. The reason why we don't is because of fear of, like other people's, of course, projection, right? I was going to say that word and then I realized you're a fifth line on the conscious side. I'm a 5-1, so I get it to a certain extent. But, it could be we don't want to deal with the fallout. We don't want to deal with the disappointment or the projection if we do like change our mind, but truly let yourself. So we have the Justice card, which is Libra. It's interesting because, and again, I just got distracted. Like, this has been fun. So they're holding the Sword of Truth there. So it's interesting. It is the card that comes after the Ace of Swords. They're holding the Sword of Truth there, which is the Ace of Swords. There's this waterfall here. Water represents our emotions. So, we can see that this figure is flying over it though. So it's not like they are getting so wrapped up in or concerned with the emotion of it. They can see it, but not allowing it to affect or impact what is actually true for them. The Justice card is about the scales balancing, karma, fate. I mean, it could be like a court case or some sort of law enforcement type of thing, or contracts, even like legal documents, legal contracts, something along those lines. But again, right? I mean, this person is literally, I mean, this is the Fool. Like, they're literally fluttering, they're flying over it. I've been reading the keywords of, and I opened right to the Justice card, revealing truth, shifting balance, consequences, shedding weight. The angel of justice approaches the falls, a sword in one hand and scales in the other. Justice reveals all truth in the light of day. It is a reminder that we are always accountable for our actions. The repercussions are not always direct and obvious. Sometimes they are hidden, but eventually the inequalities and secrets will peel away and reveal the truth. Even too, like the need to do that in order to establish or find this wholeness. Like, what happens in the dark will be revealed in the light type of thing. Whether that's you, whether that's somebody else. It could even just be showing people, like allowing people in. I mean, with that second line, the Hermit line, there's that like easy breezy, like genius thing that comes, like a natural aptitude for something. And, you really develop that on your own type of thing, like going into your hermit cave and first of all, rejuvenating, like recovering from peopling, but then also like kind of getting lost in it a little bit so that, you can feel inspired and figure out new ways to do it, to approach it, to even present it. And the fifth line, universalizing it and providing solutions, like for other people. So it could even just be allowing yourself to be seen in some capacity. And then we have the Five of Wands, which is about like conflict and competition. It says conflict resolution, tension, avoidance, power, imbalance. Swayed by a growing need for power, the orange-cloaked figure decides to use magic for evil. it was inevitable that someone would learn that this magic, combined with the internal magic of humans, could be used for evil. As the magic of wands falls into the wrong hands, the traveler is forced to use magic for his own protection. Interesting. Conflict resolution, tension, avoidance, power imbalance. Which is interesting, power imbalance, and we have the Justice card here. Also, I feel like Justice, I don't know if I actually already said this, but I feel like, Justice would also be a card of like returning things to whole, making something whole again, whether, I used to work in claims, and that's like language that we would use with people. Like if a loss happened, whether it was, a vehicle related or home, I worked on the homeowner side of things, but it would be making the claimant whole again after a loss. So that's interesting. But I also think of Mulan with the Five of Wands. Wands are about action, the motivation behind the actions that you take, creativity, passion. How are you communicating those things? What actions are you taking towards those things? I also see wands as information by way of experience, right? It's like trial and error. It's, you really can only figure out what you like and what works by doing things, by trying them, by taking action towards them, right? And by doing that, you get information because, right, like you discover what works and what doesn't work, and what do you like and what don't you, what stays, what goes, right? So it becomes wisdom too, because you know what works and what doesn't. And even, like recognizing that, there is power that can be used for good or bad. It could be even protecting yourself against some level of injustice. And like I said, I always think of Mulan because I also see the Five of Wands as like, training, muscle memory type of thing. And in Mulan, like they all go to warrior training and it's a shit show for a while, but then it all comes together. They all learn to work together. But there's always somebody who's got to, like exert their power. It just kind of like throws people off. They want to be intimidating. So there could be somebody in your life that is exhibiting that type of energy. It of course could be you too. However, though, it all feels like it's for you to, I don't know, like I keep hearing like recognize something within yourself, like come back to yourself, even realize your own power, like even realize what is fair to you. What do you want to be putting your energy into? Maybe where have you been like leeching your energy or just not using it for the highest good? Because then the next card is the Hermit card, which is Virgo. I always, like with this card, it's like, crossing that bridge when you get there. Well, here's the bridge. Remember that bridge that you were like, I'll cross it when I get there? You're coming up to it. But the Hermit card is about following like your own unique path. It's giving yourself permission to do that. It's even trusting yourself and the path. There's an element of healing that comes with the Hermit and meditation, because it's literally like getting yourself quiet enough in order to even hear or see this path. They're generally guided by the star too, like the star from the star card, which is faith, hope, trusting, the process, introspection, solitude, reflection, withdrawn. As old age approaches, the Fool begins to reflect on the paths they have traveled. They have reached a moment of serenity and peace within. This is something only achieved through immense solitude and introspection. No longer distracted by the chaotic world, the old fool holds a lantern towards their final journey. With understanding of what must come next, the fool journeys on. This could even be, of course, a bridge showing up for you. If you were like, I don't even know how I'm going to get from here to over there. But, you know, it's like you knew that over there, like that gap was going to show up at some point, but maybe it wasn't there yet. And now it is. And again, it's like, you know, this bridge finally, it showed up for you, because that's what happened. Like on the fool's journey, it's like what you need will show up if you you know, like honor your path, your unique journey. And then we have the King of Cups at the end of the reading. There's this huge like opportunity for emotional growth, for emotional maturity. Kings are the highest expression of the suit. Cups have to do with our feelings, heart chakra, emotions, right? Like how are we feeling about our lives, about ourselves, about the people in our lives, about even the direction that we're heading in. There's actually even this, it looks like a sword on the ground. That's kind of interesting. That is actually really fucking interesting. There's a sword on the ground. We have the Ace of Swords out here. We have the Justice card, who's carrying basically the Ace of Swords. It feels like walking on your truth, because I'm just, you know, they're about to like step on the sword. So to me, it's like walking in your truth, walking on your truth, whatever it is, like being guided even by your truth. And then they're holding what looks like one of these wands, right? So allowing, you know, that pain that maybe came from this Five of Wands, you know, if somebody was, you know, just presenting a conflict against you and it felt unfair or imbalanced or whatever, you know, out of integrity, it brought you to this place of emotional maturity. You're using that power and almost like turning it into compassion, turning it into empathy for yourself, but other people too. Like these people really thought, if there is something, an energy, you know, if it came from one specific person, multiple people, it could just be a lifetime, whatever. It's like, you know, they thought that it was going to hold you down, make you stop, whatever, you know, but really it is there for you to use as a mechanism for growth. I mean, it could truly bring you into your highest expression of yourself. This is also, you know, very intuitive. Also, did I say yeah. Like I said, you know, it's emotional maturity. It's even having control of your emotions. And even recognizing that, you know, the whole, like one of the four, what is it? The four agreements or whatever. One of them is to not take anything personal, which I think is like a conscious fifth line, is very important to understand. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Again, you know, Pentacles, 10s are completion. It is, you know, reaching a level of success. This is generational wealth, legacy, because, you know, we have these stones that are stacked here. Like that reminds me of Moana. All of my movie references are cartoons. But it reminds me of Moana because, right, like on top of that mountain, there's all of those stones of like past chiefs. And it is like honoring their legacy, right? And then she puts her shell on top of the last, you know, before they leave the island. So it's like honoring where you came from, but also recognizing that you are very much part of this legacy. Like you also have your own legacy. You have something to share, which is the king, because the kings oversee a kingdom. They're leaders. People look to them. And with cups, you know, people would look to them for emotional support, for emotional guidance. And it really is interesting that they have this sword, they have this wand. So it really is like bringing your experience with you and allowing those things to help, propel you forward. Beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. It feels whole. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.